Capitalism is terrible. Your problem is economic injustice.
Without K-pop, like, it takes the industry to recognize a certain face with success to open the gates for other people who look like them.
My generation or the generation coming after me, I think is the only way to save the planet.
Is it Lucid? Is it Bad Friend? Is it Sawayama? It is the lovely Rina Sawayama. Welcome to Is It News.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. These two songs are like my favorite. Give me so much power, and thank you for bringing this power on Is It News.
Oh, well, thank you. My goodness, we all need it, don't we?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because whenever I travel or go anywhere else around the world, whether it's New York or LA, I always want to come back to London because there's something very special about being here. You know, the city of multicultural, music, fashion, but it's also a tough city. And would you say that give you a backbone to be the person that you are, the successful, inspiring woman that you are, and musician, of course?
Yeah, without London, I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I have thought several times about whether, you know, if I grew up in Tokyo, which kind of was the original plan, I think, if my dad hadn't got a transfer to London. And I have thought about it, and I just think my life would be so different. And I really think one of the things is the diversity. It makes you feel like, if you are a person of color, I think it really makes you feel part of something bigger. But at the same time, I think there's like healthy competition because you're all trying to like be your best selves. And for me, like, London was always a playing ground, and I love it so much.
What's Tokyo like, for instance? You know, like being a Londoner in Tokyo. Yeah. I'm sure it's different, like system, different like energy. How you maneuver that for like a newbie like me, for instance.
I would say, imagine there was a point in history where London and the West developed this way, and Japan and the East developed that way.
Wow.
It's just like both very developed, but very in different ways.
Wow.
And for me, Tokyo's, very special. Like, I spent all my summers there, and I was there until I was 5. I was born in the countryside in Niigata, but moved straight away to Tokyo. And I don't really remember like growing up in Tokyo, but I used to always go back because all my family are there. Looking
back now, being a successful British Asian pop star, but first started in modeling, looking at the industry, do you think the representation, let's say, for not just like Black and minorities, but Asian, do you think we have come a long way? Do you think, you know, where we are in terms of like representation?
I think we're getting there. It's slow, and definitely with what I can speak about is like East Asians, I think, and perhaps even Southeast Asian people, but I would say, I'm just gonna say faces that look like me, right? Yeah, I've seen a lot of, you know, Asian artists. There's obviously 88 Rising, who kind of, I think, was a really big force, and I've said this before, but I really think without K-pop, like, I don't think I would be standing here, not because my music is any similar, but because the industry, it takes the industry to recognize a certain face with success for then it to open the gates for other people who look like them. It's a very subtle thing, very psychological.
So do you think then the digital age is good for artists, music and fans, let's say? Would you say this digital age is good for it or not? Like, what are your thoughts on that then? Like,
I think not good for music. I think, I just know personally of so many people that have, you know, been furloughed or lost their jobs. And, you know, I think it's really important for artists right now to support however they can safely. And it's been really important to me to try and make sure that, you know, shoots can happen safely so that like my band can, you know, have work, and like my wider team can have work, because if the artist is not doing anything, you know, and what are the touring band gonna do? What are the dancers gonna do? What are the choreographers, you know? And I was gonna go on tour, and we had all this set up, and then it was, you know, vanished,
pandemic.
and so I cannot wait till we can do that again, and then we can hopefully make sure that venues are, saved, and that's why I really appreciate when people buying tickets during a pandemic, because it really does support and lift the live industry.
If there's any that you support or anything that we need to know about, this is the platform for you to educate us on these kind of stuff. So if there's any empowerment you want to give to the API community, and if there's any charity at the same time that we all should know about and support, bring it on, girl.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Okay, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was first releasing music, I found, I think it was East and Southeast Asian Beauty was a Twitter account, an Instagram account.
Yeah.
And that's the one place that I saw that was like just highlighting Asian beauties.
Wow.
And I remember, it's so simple and so dumb now, and I think things have actually moved forward so much that we think that that's very basic, but for me that was so important to see, because modeling and being told like I was the one Asian person on set and that was the number that was quoted, which happens all the time on these big, campaign shoots still.
Yeah.
It was really important for me to be able to see that. And there is this amazing queer collective called Bit and Peach, and they they used to put on club nights, and it's a specifically Asian queer night, basically. And there's a lot of amazing drag performers, and it's so sick because, like, obviously there's Sin for Victory, Victoria Sin, and there's been like there's been a couple of drag artists.
Yeah.
Something Wong as well, like
Something Wong.
Something Wong who was on Drag Race. But there really hasn't, like, I haven't really seen like an actual queer night that is, created by and for Asian people. Obviously, everyone's welcome, but I thought that was amazing, and I love seeing everyone's performances because they really explore, like drag explores Asian, like all the traumatic shit that goes on, they make art out of it, and it's brilliant. I would also say gal-dem is a magazine that I really love. They are written exclusively by women of colour or non-binary people of colour. And also they are very strict on set as well, making sure that it's women or non-binary people of colour on set. So, which I've never really had, and that's really good that they make sure that there's a space for that. There's also a website that I was made aware of after Black Lives Matter, because there's a lot of diversity in the artists in music. The artists are diverse. But if you look in the industry, it is not diverse at all. And that is a problem for me, for sure. And I do think it's a lot to do with access. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that labels often can't be bothered to actually get outside recruitment. They'll be like, my mate's good, that mate's son is good, and that is literally how, and then it's just everyone's, straight white men, basically. And I think it's so important that there's representation in that side as well, not just in the artist side. And management, A&R, product management, CEOs, even, it's so important. And so there's a website called Social Fixed, and I've seen a couple of labels put postings on there, but that is specifically for Black people who want to enter the music industry.
So anyone watching this program,
Social Fix.
Social Fix.
Look on there if you're interested in a career
Thank you
in music.
actually for being an advocate for this and leading the way. It's amazing. That's why we have to love and support artists like yourself. It's incredible.
It just means a lot to me, and I don't know, I just can see how a lot of things are not done maliciously, but it ends up having a ripple effect. And it ends up creating walls and barriers for people. And what I know is the music industry, what I know is fashion, and what I know, from perspectives that I know how to, I try and help in that way and just support causes.
That's amazing. Thank you. That's incredible.
Of course.
well, before we go, there is a tour coming up. How excited are you to actually see and meet your fans coming out of the pandemic.
I'm so excited. Like, get that Moderna in me. I'm ready to go. Genuinely, I'm just like, I'm so excited. I'm excited for, like, I think people just, I miss festivals.
Yeah.
And I like don't like drunk, messy, sloppy festivals, but I somehow really miss performing at festivals, going to festivals.
Yeah.
I miss my fans so much. It's been a whole, I think my last headline show was 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I haven't done a headline show in that long.
Right.
And the last show I did was, I think, October 2019.
Right.
So it's been a long time, and I got to do this performance for Jimmy Fallon, which was awesome. And
I saw, by the way.
oh, thank you.
Divine.
Thanks.
Yes.
Well, it gave me a tiny little bit of what it's like to do shows again.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just, I just love making people happy, and I love putting on a show, and I just love having a bit of fun and, you know, making people smile and laugh. And
so what you want your fans to gain from this upcoming tour? If they're all here watching and they're all excited, what are they gonna get? Is it all surprises? Drama?
I want drama. Yeah, I've always tried to strive for drama when I was performing for 100 people to now I'm doing venues that like a roundhouse I'm playing, which is crazy. That's like nearly 3,000 people. So it's like, no matter what the venue size, I want to try and put on a show. You know, I don't like shows that are all about the artist. That's not it for me. That's not why I go and see, you know, performances.
I love it all. I want to see the dream.
I love
the
dream. I love the story. I love the people. Like, you know, when you're in a crowd, you want to feel safe. You want to feel loved. You want to feel seen.
To end. You are like 3 words for me, you know, and it's my first time just like talking to you like this, and you are so inspiring and amazing. To me, you're freedom, freedom, freedom.
Oh,
freedom of
really?
expression, freedom of being, freedom of self, being like, you know, it's beautiful. And thank you for coming on Is It News.
Thank you so much for having me and your sweet words. And yeah, I've had so much fun chatting to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.